My name is Tamás Nagy. I graduated from CU in 2015. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business that develops, distributes and manufactures protein bars and protein powders that are gluten-free, lactose-free and vegan. These are physical products, and I will take you through 9 steps on how to build a startup that makes physical products. Step 1, come up with an innovative product idea. The solution that you come up with has to be new. It has to be something that's not on the market yet, and or it has to replace something that is on the market, but your idea is significantly better than the one that's already there. Don't look at what other people are doing. Try to use your imagination and come up with something original. Step 2. Do the math. Before you do anything, you want to know if this idea that you have, this product that you came up with is feasible or not. So you need to know your unit costs. If you don't know your unit cost, you have to make some research or estimate the price, but you need to know a number. And we'll go through an example with this. Let's say you made some research and your product costs 50 euro to make. That will be your manufacturing cost. Then take that price and multiply it by 2. So in this case, you take the 50 and you multiply it by 2, you arrive at 100. This will be your lowest distributor price. It is a 50% margin, top-down margin from the 100 euros. 50 euro will be your gross margin. Then you take this lowest distributor price and you multiply it by 3. In this case, the 100 multiplied by 3 will be 300 euros. This will be the price at which your customer, your end user, will buy the product, including VAT. So this is important to know because you will not only sell your products directly to your customers, but you will sell also through distributors, ideally. So you will be able to diversify different types of distribution channels. In order to see if this idea is feasible or not, you need to take the lowest gross margin, meaning the 100 euros minus 50 euros, which equals 50 euros. And then you think about how many units will I sell in a year. And let's say you can sell 1,000 units, and then you multiply the 50 by 1,000, that's 50,000. That number gives you a rough estimate of how much money you will be making, and this money will need to cover your operational costs. And most of the time, the products or the ideas you come up with will only cover your operational costs at very high volumes. If you make the calculation and you see that you don't have enough gross margin to cover your costs, then you need to go back to step 1, come up with a different product idea or work a little bit on the pricing, and that's step 2. Step 3, sell the first 10 prototypes. With the least amount of money possible, manufacture 10 units of your product idea. Once you have that, try to go to the market and sell them. A sale only counts if you sell it to someone who doesn't know you and you don't know. And the goal here is to get some feedback on the product, see what strangers think about your idea and about your product. Once you have sold these 10 products, you can move on to step 4. If you're not able to sell the 10 products, then either abandon the project or go back to step 1. Step 4 is sell your first 100 products. The goal here is to test out the market, test out the distribution channels, and get some more feedback from your customers. In the beginning, you need to think about maybe contract manufacturing the product, so you don't need to set up manufacturing. Try to get those 100 units for as low as a cost as you can and take them to market. To promote the product, here you can think about maybe of putting up a small website, a simple website where you can sell and promote the product, and doing some preliminary social media activity. And once you sold the 100 products, you will know what distribution channels work better and what's the feedback on your product, and then you can go to the next step. Step 5, manufacture 1,000 units of this product. For these, usually you will need to either raise money from an angel investor, ask money from your family, from friends, or use your own savings to stock up this inventory. But it's absolutely necessary to move forward. And then once you have these 1,000 units on stock, you will want to try to sell them at the market price. In our example, this was the 300 euros that we're talking about. Here, the goal is not to make a profit, but to sell the most amount of units in the least amount of time. Because with this, you will have a very good idea on what distribution channels work well, what are the like the promotion, what is the communication that resonates with your target market, who is your customer. You will get a lot of feedback, and once you have all this data and you have the traction and the results, you will be able to make a very good case for the venture capital investor in the next step. But until you don't have roughly 1,000 units sold, your case for raising money will be very weak. And that's step 5. Step 6, raise venture capital money and scale aggressively. Using your results after selling the 1,000 products, prepare a business plan. This has to be a detailed and formal business plan. You will have a lot of information to back your claims up. You will have idea where you can sell the product, to whom you can sell the product, how many units you can sell in a given period. And you need to prepare at least a P&L, a balance sheet, and ideally you will also need a cash flow statement. If you have this ready, then you can go and contact different investment funds and pitch your idea. Don't waste your time in pitching events. Just go directly to the investors. If your case is good and they give you money, then your strategy will have to be to scale very fast, because if the product is good, then the competition will notice and will try to copy your idea or your product, or they will try to do the same thing as you are doing. So scaling fast is extremely important on that stage, and that's step 6. Step 7 is expand your product portfolio. So you have raised money, you are having good traction and good growth, but you need to accelerate growth even more. So what you need to do is expand your product portfolio, because one product will not be enough to make a huge business out of your original idea, usually. So you need to have a product portfolio with products that ideally increase in value, so you would be selling more and more expensive products to your customers. And because you have now a distribution channel, you have promotion channels, then you just need to plug in those new products to these distribution channels, and then growth will be much easier. And that's step 7. Step 8 is bring operational efficiency. You arrive at step 8 when your volumes are high enough already. So while you are growing, it's very difficult to be efficient in operations. You will have to pay for costs that may be unnecessary, because you are testing things out. You're trying to see how the process works. But once you arrive at step 8 and you have a good volume, then you need to focus on making operations more and more efficient in order to make a good profit. And that's step 8. Step 9 is exit. Because you have raised venture capital money, then your investors will want to sell the business with your share as well. So make sure you get a valuation that you're happy with, and leave with the amount that will make you feel that you are rich. This is different for everyone, but you need to have that goal in mind when you're starting the whole process. And that's step 9. Finally, use common sense. Not all the steps that I've described will apply to all the products that you can come up with, but it's a good framework how to think about the process. So to recap, step 1 is to come up with a new innovative product idea. Step 2, do the math, make a short calculation on if the product is feasible. Then sell your first 10 products. Then sell your first 100 products, then sell your first 1,000 products. And only after you've sold 1,000 products, go and raise some venture capital money and scale aggressively. Once you have raised the venture capital money, expand your product portfolio, and after you've reached volume, you need to improve operational efficiencies. And once you've done that, you can exit at a good valuation. A beginner activity that you could do is go through step 1 and 2. So let's say in step 1 you come up with an innovative product idea that's not out there in the market. Let's say you want to make a teleporting machine. And then with step 2 you calculate the cost of one teleporting machine, you do some research, you see for how much can you manufacture it, let's say using a contract manufacturer in Asia, and then they come up with 300 euro. And that's step 1 and 2. And for the advanced level is, and then once in step 2 you also can think about, okay, how many people will need this teleporting machine? Probably 3 billion people out of the 7 billion people. So that's, you see, it's a very good idea if you can do it. For the more advanced is actually to go to step 3, where like the real things start to happen, where you need to manufacture the prototype, get the cost down, and try to sell it at least for 10 people. If you are able to get to step 3, then you're on a good path to start your own business. An activity that you could do would be, as a beginner, to go through step 1 and 2. That's relatively fast and easy. Let's say you come up with a product idea of a teleporting machine that meets an unmet need on the market, and then you start doing the math. You say, okay, I could manufacture one teleporting machine for 100 euros, let's say somewhere using a contract manufacturer in Asia, and I could sell it then for 200 euros at my lowest distributor price, and my market is basically probably 3 billion people in the world. So you have a feasible product idea. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, then you can go to step 3 and try to get 10 working prototypes of this idea that you had and try to sell it for 10 people. And if you are able to get the prototypes done and sell it to 10 people, that's when you really start your journey to making a startup that makes a physical product. Finally, thank you for watching till the end. I hope you've learned something useful, and I wish you good luck with your startup.